Welcome to the Agile Auditor, at risk, vigilant, Barrett. Today's explainer, we're diving into the secret keepers. That's NDA, confidentiality, and data privacy. All right, picture this. A company hands over its entire customer database to a third-party vendor just to run a simple routine email campaign. Sounds normal, right? Happens literally every single day in the corporate world. But a month later, that vendor gets hacked. And the company, well, they got hit with a catastrophic penalty. A massive 50-crore regulatory fine, 50 crore. So why did this happen? Because the company honestly thought that signing a basic NDA was enough to protect highly sensitive personal data. They were dead wrong. So let's dive into this explainer and uncover this absolutely critical and often incredibly dangerous misunderstanding between keeping corporate secrets and protecting human identities. All right, let's start with the plain definitions. NDA versus data privacy. First up, we've got the non-disclosure agreement, or confidentiality clause. Look, at its core, an NDA is just a legal promise. It's a binding agreement that a vendor isn't going to steal, share, or leak your company's business secrets. It is designed purely to keep your corporate ideas and strategies safe from your competitors. That's it. That is its single, dedicated job. But data privacy? That is an entirely different beast. We're talking about strict legal obligations here. These are mandates under laws like GDPR or local data protection acts that require the vendor to heavily protect the personal identifiable information of actual human beings. You see, it's not just a handshake promise between two businesses. It's a rigid set of legal rules meant to protect the identities of everyday people. Let's put this into perspective. Think about the different types of secrets in your life. An NDA? Well, that's kind of like telling your best friend the secret recipe to your grandmother's famous cake. You trust them not to give that recipe to a rival bakery across town. It's a private business agreement based on trust and commercial advantage. But data privacy? That is like giving your credit card number and your entire medical history to a hospital. If the hospital leaves that file sitting on a public park bench, it isn't just a broken promise to you. It is criminal negligence. It's a massive legal failure that brings heavy government fines. Let's ground this. Real workplace example. XYZ Limited. Okay, so the crucial part here is knowing exactly where one ends and the other begins. Let's say RIA hires vendor A to build a brand new top-secret mobile app. Step 1. The NDA kicks in. It strictly stops vendor A from leaking the app's secret new features to some rival tech company. Simple enough. But to truly test the app in Step 2, RIA has to hand over one lock real customer email addresses to the vendor. And this is exactly where the data privacy clause steps up. The NDA protects the app's features, but data privacy legally dictates how vendor A handles the people. In Step 3, it forces the vendor to encrypt those emails, strictly limits which of their employees can even view them, and legally mandates that the vendor must permanently delete those files the exact second the testing is over. Moving on to our confusion buster, dismantling the overlap. Let's forensically break this down so there's zero confusion. Under confidentiality and NDAs, what are we actually protecting? We're protecting corporate data. We're talking trade secrets, upcoming mergers, profit margins, product designs. The ultimate goal here, stop competitors from stealing your ideas. But flip over to data privacy, and we are protecting personal data, names, phone numbers, health records, passwords. And the goal is to stop criminals from stealing human identities and to make sure you comply with unforgiving government laws. It boils down to this: ideas on the left, identities on the right. Now let's look at this through the auditor's eye, exposing the vulnerability. The ultimate auditor's red flag is something we call the forever retention trap. As auditors, we actively hunt for contracts that are missing a strict data destruction clause. Think about how this plays out in the real world. A vendor finishes a marketing project, they get paid in full, everyone shakes hands, and they go their separate ways. But without that specific destruction clause, the vendor quietly keeps a copy of your entire customer database just sitting on their servers, literally forever. That is a ticking time bomb just waiting for a hacker to stumble along. And this is exactly why internal auditors most rigorously review IT application controls. We have to ensure vendors are only ever granted temporary, highly restricted access to your systems. And more importantly, when the job is done, you absolutely have to demand a formal data destruction certificate. This is the concrete proof that the vendor wiped their hard drives clean the exact day the contract ended. Guys, you cannot just take their word for it, you have to demand the proof. Let's do a quick final recap. If you take away just one thing from this explainer, never forget this fundamental difference. An NDA protects your business, but data privacy clauses protect your people.
Getting this wrong doesn't just mean losing your competitive edge. It means massive fines, ruined reputations, and shattered lives. So, what about you? Have you checked your vendor contracts lately for a data destruction clause? Because you might want to get on that right away. We'll see you in the next explainer, where we're going to unpack another critical vulnerability. Until then, stay vigilant.